This is how to outline your novel on World Anvil's manuscripts. So everyone outlines in a different way. I'm not going to pretend that my way is the best, but this is one possible workflow that uses the World Anvil manuscripts tools to go from I have a plot to I have an expanded outline. Here's how I like to do it, with a couple of variations. So this is my manuscript. You can see it's called test manuscript, so it's pretty empty. And I want to start by establishing the plot. I have a beat sheet here. I've shown you how to do that in another video, but essentially if you go to table, you can create a table. I'm sure from there you can imagine using the table tools to expand this, fill it into your heart's content. The table tool is very straightforward and flexible on manuscripts. So that's one place you can store your plot. The other, of course, is the plot template, and from manuscripts you can, I've got one up here. If I were to search plot, I can pull up whichever plot that I'm looking for, as long as I've called it plot, and you can reference your plot here if you've used the plot template on World Anvil in the world building side. If you've used the whiteboard, the World Anvil whiteboard, to do a visual plot, you can easily open that in a second tab. I don't need to show you how to do that, so that you can reference it. Whichever way, make sure that you have the reference of your basic plot. Now, I'm going to go click on my manuscript title and select Review. And you will see that I have chapter by chapter a whole bunch of synopses here. So here's how I would do it. I would, for each of my chapters, impose one of the plot beats. It doesn't matter if it's going to be more chapters later, it's just about establishing the plot beats. So my outline might be something like introduce main character and pain points. Chapter 2 might be the inciting incident, and so on and so forth. Fill in each of the beats into one of these, and then, once you've done that, you'll be able to go to the chapter and you can start to create scenes. Again, you can see the chapter synopsis here, so perhaps you want to start thinking about what your scenes might be. Start outlining those a little bit more. You might, for example, say, okay, we're going to introduce my main character. What kind of conflict do I want to throw her into? We're going to introduce the pain points of her world. Why is her world not great for her right now? Again, you can write those in scenes. For example, if she has a difficult relationship with her mother, you might choose to show that in one of the scenes. This is a great time to start thinking beyond the big plot to how you're going to distribute those scenes, how you're going to show the story unfolding. For example, if I want to introduce a main character in an alien overlords kind of story, the character meets the aliens in the street and narrowly escapes in scene 1. In scene 2, perhaps she fights with her mother about the alien invasion. She wants to fight back. The mother says she shouldn't. And then, who knows, maybe the aliens take away her best friend. Life could not be worse. She is ready for the inciting incident, whatever that is. This is a great way to break down an overview of a chapter into scenes and events just by using the synopsis tool. Then, of course, you can take the next step. I've gone to my scene here and I've got my synopsis of what's happening. Of course, if I ever want to, I can skip back to my full chapter synopsis just by clicking on my chapter. But for now, I'm going to stick with my scene synopsis. I know what's supposed to be happening. And here is the moment where I can expand that, if I want to, even further. The character meets aliens in the street and narrowly escapes. Well, what does that look like? How am I going to describe that? This might be the point where you already start writing, or it might be the point where you do an even more expanded outline, what some writers like to call a draft 0, where you have some scraps of dialogue, some little bits of description, but it's not really hanging together as a full draft 1. That's entirely up to you. I'm not here to tell you how to write. I'm here to show you how to use manuscripts to help you write. So that is a great way to do outlining as part of World Anvil. And of course, once you have your outline, make sure that you version it so that you don't lose your outline when you start to write the next draft. I've got a video about versioning too. Make sure you check that out.